This game, start to finish, is about access, what each offense could consistently get to, and what it had to unlock to reach its top gear. Treat it like a coaching tape. Structure first, then matchups, then stress points, then what scaled and what didn't. And you can feel the mindset behind it. You don't wait for perfect conditions, you attack it each day with that enthusiasm unknown to mankind approach. If you had to put the entire game in one sentence, it's this: the Chargers had multiple ways to manufacture explosives, run geometry that forced reactions, shot plays that landed, and a distributed set of winners. While Dallas needed one specific leak, Pickens isolated on Hart to get to its high ceiling. That's why Herbert's profile shows the bigger yards per attempt and deeper impact, while Dak's reads efficient and clean, but with a narrower, explosive pathway. At quarterback, the clean results can look similar on the surface, but the difficulty wasn't. Herbert's charted day is essentially elite efficiency plus explosives, while living in more stress, pressure, blitz looks, and protection that didn't consistently win. The separator is the depth profile. On 20-plus air yard throws, he's sitting at 5 attempts, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those are the throws that tilt the whole field. And it's not just that he hit them. It's that he hit them while the environment was loud. He was kept clean on 18 dropbacks and pressured on 15. And under pressure, he still went 11/15ths for 85 yards, approximately 7.7y/a, with 0 turnovers. That's not getting by. That's the offense staying in integrity even when the pocket loses, because the quarterback and the answers keep it operating. Dak's day was really good football, clean efficiency, rhythm, and control, but it lived more inside structure. You see it in where the ball lived. The short middle dominated 10/11ths for 75 and a TD, and the deep profile was productive, but not the same volume 4 attempts, 66 yards, 1 TD on 20-plus throws. The pressure split tells you the story. Dak was kept clean on 26 dropbacks and pressured only 7, and under pressure his efficiency dipped 4/7, 25 yards, approximately 6.23y/a translation. Dak played well, but his production was more married to timing and structure. Herbert's production still scaled when structure bent. The reason Herbert's passing had the higher ceiling wasn't a single hero, it was the ecosystem. Your receiving grades and production show the Chargers had a complete passing menu. Quentin Johnston functioned as the explosive engine, 5 targets, 4 catches, 104 yards, a wild 26.0 per catch. And that's why the deep profile popped the way it did. Keenan Allen was the schedule keeper 5/5, 45, the don't fall behind the sticks piece. Tree Harris and Lad McConkey gave intermediate continuity and chain conversion. Harris, 4/5, 53, Lad 4/6, 43 with a 25-yard chunk, and Disley was the leak outlet underneath 3/3, 28. Structurally, it means even if Dallas tries to erase one thing, LAC still has layered answers, a deep stressor, intermediate conversion, a chain mover, slot stability, and a tight end outlet. That's how you stay efficient and explosive. Dallas's passing game, meanwhile, was efficient but narrower because the ceiling lever was clear and they leaned into it. Pickens was the top-end access, 9 targets, 7 catches, 130 yards, 1 TD, and the matchup table tells you exactly where the oxygen came from. Pickens on Hart was the biggest mismatch. In that lane, it was 3 for 3 for 88 yards, 29.3 yards per target, plus the conversion/TD markers. Dallas didn't really spread it around. For ceiling, they found the leak and hammered it. Lamb was a chain mover in this game, 7 targets, 6 catches, 53, but not an explosive gravity bomb. And Ferguson/Turpin/J, VONTE were connectors. Ferguson 3/3, 18. Turpin 2/4, 14. Javonte 2/3, 9. So if you remove the Pickens/Hart leak, Dallas's profile slides hard into short middle, lower explosives, and more long drive dependency. And that's where a multiplier like Derwin becomes more impactful. Up front, the trenches didn't just matter. They dictated the personality of both offenses. Dallas pass protection was functional but patched. Stable work at LT, and center mid to high 70s, a playable RT high 60s, and guards that were the clear issue around the 50 range. Dallas compensated like a coaching staff that knows what time it is. Back in tight end help, with Javonte posting an 80.1 pass block grade, and Ferguson contributing around the low 70s. That pushes you toward rhythm throws and selective deeper concepts only when you can buy them. The Chargers' pass pro grades were rough, center around approximately 26, guards in the mid-30s to approximately 39. But the offense didn't ask the line to be a wall. It asked the system to be an answer key, quick access throws, spacing that punishes blitz, route layering that creates early conflict. Dallas's interior rush OSA plus Kenny Clark could win reps, but Herbert plus structure made those wins arrive too late to cash as drive-ending plays. The true structural separator, though the real core, was the run game. Dallas run blocking looked like perimeter effort with interior failure. Tyler Smith strong 75.9, skill blocking fine Mingo 80.1, but the guards capped the interior RG 48.4, LG 46.6. That matches the directional truth. Edge runs were survivable, interior runs stalled. And if you can't dent them inside, you can't consistently manipulate linebackers and safeties with the run, which means your play action and your explosives are more matchup dependent. The Chargers, by contrast, had interior force, center 75.1, LG 72.6, fullback 65, plus with supportive tight ends, and Hampton's direction profile reflects multi-gap success, including interior efficiency. When you can run inside like that, you force second-level reactions. And that reaction is what opens up intermediate windows and keeps your shot menu alive. Defensively, both teams had star power, but only one side contained the leaks well enough. The Chargers' identity is Derwin as the multiplier, with a rush plan built more on timing stress than pure sack chasing, and the one glaring vulnerability was Hart in isolated boundary situations, which Dallas found. The Cowboys' identity had front flashes, overshown and OSA driving, interior pressure present, but the coverage spine leaked repeatedly. Your matchup table shows the Chargers attacked it. Hooker at free safety in conflict 3 targets, 3 catches, 86 yards, including a 50-yarder. Revel giving up steady access 6/8, 84. Diggs targeted efficiently 5/5, 48, slot usable, and Bridges mostly avoided 0/1. Dallas could spike plays up front, but the back end gave up too many high-value throws, especially when the deep safety got stressed. That's why the exploit maps read like an answer key. For Dallas on offense, the explosive key was Pickens, Hart, while everything else was more controlled by Derwin and stable coverage. Protect Hart with bracket/rotation/ help on obvious shot downs, and Dallas's ceiling drops fast. You force chain throws and long drives. For the Chargers on offense, the explosive key was QJ and shot concepts that created hooker conflict, while drive continuity came through Revel/slot/D, I, G, CSS to Keenan, Harris, and Ladd. And because the Lax could run inside, Dallas couldn't just sit in anti-explosive looks without bleeding run efficiency and giving up the very conflict that creates chunk throws. Pressure also mattered differently because of how each offense is built. Dallas's best rush wins were interior OSA 6 pressures, Kenny Clark 4, but Herbert got it out, stayed explosive anyway, and didn't turn it over, so that pressure became background noise instead of a stop button. The Chargers' pressure, meanwhile, is more edge timing, stunt stress, and Derwin as a disguise/pressure piece. And that pairs well against an offense that can't reliably run inside, because you can't consistently hold second-level defenders with play-action threat. Dak stayed efficient, but outside of the Hart mismatch, Dallas didn't live in easy explosives. If you're thinking rematch and fixes, the coaching points are direct. For LAC defending Dallas, don't isolate Hart on Pickens without help. Period. Especially on shot downs, bracket Pickens. When the situation screams, take the shot, and make Dallas win through sustained drives and red zone execution. For Dal defending LAC, solve the hooker conflict, don't leave him as the lone deep answer versus layered shots. Commit safety help to remove QJ explosives, and fix interior run fits at the linebacker level. Because if Hampton stays efficient inside, you can't protect the back end. For Dal on offense, you need a second explosive pathway besides Pickens beats Hart. The interior run game has to improve, or you'll always get capped, and motion/formation has to create cleaner access throws for Lamb. For LAX on offense, keep using interior run force to distort linebackers and open intermediate access. Keep taking deep shots when the conflict defender is stressed, not just because the concept is drawn up, and protect the interior rush with answers, because the grades say you can't just hold up, you have to solve. Final difference, straight from your data, Dallas is high efficiency with matchup-dependent explosiveness, and the Chargers are high efficiency with structure-created explosiveness plus matchup exploitation. That's why Herbert's output scaled past Dak's even with worse protection and more pressure. More ways to win, more ways to breathe. And when you've got that many solutions, you can walk out of it with that simple, hard-nosed Harbaugh-style stamp. Who's got it better than us? Nobody? The AFC playoff picture became even clearer after Sunday's games, with several key contenders either strengthening their position or effectively falling out of the race. The Chargers' 34-17 win over the Cowboys was one of the most important results of the weekend, pushing Los Angeles to 11-4 and firmly entrenching them as one of the AFC's top wild card teams. With that victory, the Chargers now sit second in the AFC West behind Denver and are no longer fighting for entry. They are fighting for seeding, holding a strong grip on either the 5 or 6 seed with elite tiebreak leverage. Their conference resume, combined with the collapse of key rivals, makes them one of the safest playoff teams in the conference heading into the final weeks. The Bills' narrow 23-20 win over the Browns moves Buffalo to 11-4 as well, keeping them locked into the postseason and maintaining pressure in the wildcard hierarchy. Buffalo and Los Angeles are now effectively paired as the two strongest wildcard teams, with the final ordering between them likely coming down to conference record and common opponent tiebreaks rather than overall wins. Meanwhile, the Chiefs' 26-9 loss to the Titans is effectively season-ending for Kansas City. Falling to 6-9, the Chiefs are now mathematically and practically eliminated, removing one of the last lingering threats from the wild card equation and simplifying the AFC race significantly. Elsewhere, the Bengals' 45-21 win over the Dolphins keeps Cincinnati alive mathematically, but does little to change the realistic playoff picture, while Miami's loss further confirms they are no longer a factor. The Jets' loss to the Saints and Cleveland's defeat to Buffalo officially clear out the bottom of the conference, leaving a much cleaner playoff cutoff. At this point, the AFC field is largely defined. Denver remains atop the AFC West. New England and Jacksonville continue to control their divisions, and Pittsburgh holds the fragile AFC North lead. Most importantly, the wild card race is narrowed to a small, defined group. Chargers and Bills are clearly in. Houston remains the primary challenger for positioning behind them, and Indianapolis is running out of margin for error. For the Chargers, Sunday's results shift the focus entirely toward playoff matchups rather than qualification. At 11-4, Los Angeles is now a near lock to finish no worse than the 6 seed, with a realistic chance to grab the 5 seed and draw the AFC's weakest division winner in the wildcard round. With Kansas City eliminated and Dallas dispatched, the Chargers' path is now about optimizing matchups, not surviving the bubble, as the AFC playoff picture settles into its final form.